Okay, so let's dive into the source material you sent over. It's all about something that seems simple on the surface, but gets really complex. Sonic the Hedgehog Speed, the character we've known since 91.
Right.
Our mission here is basically to pull out the key ideas from these pages, how fast they say Sonic is, what physics suggests should happen at that speed, and, well, what actually happens to the Blue Blur himself.
And right off the bat, the numbers in these sources are just staggering. We're talking about an energy calculation hitting over 46 decillion joules.
Decillion. That's
Yeah.
a lot of zeros.
Uh-huh. And if you assume a mass for him, based on his height and build, maybe around 35 kilograms, that calculation puts his speed at roughly 1.1.5 times 10 to the 19 miles per hour.
Okay, hold on. 1.15 times 10 to the 19. It's almost impossible to, wrap your head around that. What's really fascinating, and the material points this out, is that this speed is calculated to be something like 17 million times faster than light speed.
Exactly. 17 million.
So for you listening, that means he's moving at a speed where everything we understand about, the universe, says nothing with mass should even get close, let alone smash that barrier by millions of times.
Precisely. And if any real object, especially, a living thing, tried to move anywhere near that fast,
Yeah.
physics tells us it would be catastrophic. The sources actually detail what should happen.
Like what?
Well, major relativistic effects, for one, mass increase, you'd essentially get infinitely heavy approaching light speed, and time dilation. Time would slow down drastically for him compared to everyone else.
Which at 17 million times light speed, forget approaching light speed. That's just way beyond. The kinetic energy alone must be astronomical.
Oh, absolutely. The material suggests that level of kinetic energy should literally warp space-time around him. Could potentially even create black holes.
Wow.
And even simpler physics. Air resistance. Friction. Should vaporize him instantly, turn him into plasma.
Right. And the G-forces. Stopping on a dime like he does, changing direction.
Yeah, that should liquefy his insides. He'd just be a smear. Plus, think about the heat generated, the sonic booms. They should be leveling cities behind him.
And yet, what do the sources say actually happens?
He just runs. That's the thing. He's completely, utterly unaffected.
So, no disintegration, no getting heavier, no weird aging effects toward tails or knuckles?
Nope, none of it. He stops instantly, turns on a pinhead, no G-force issues, no heat trails, no sonic booms that shatter mountains. He can apparently even phase through dimensions sometimes.
The sources mention him outrunning stuff like collapsing timelines too, right? Disintegrating realities.
Yeah, casually. It's less like breaking the sound barrier and more like he's just operating on a completely different set of rules. Like he's achieving speeds that should need warp drives or something, but he just does it by moving his legs really fast.
Which obviously brings up the big question the sources tackle. How is this even possible within his world? How does that impossible speed work?
Well, the material offers a few potential angles. One idea is that it's maybe fueled by pure willpower, sheer determination overcoming physical limits.
Okay, sort of a mind over matter thing?
Kind of. Another perspective is, narrative convenience. He runs that fast because the story needs him to. The rules just bend around him.
Makes sense from a storytelling perspective, I guess.
And then there's a more abstract idea some analyses touch on. Maybe he isn't just a fast creature, but he's actually the concept of motion itself, given form.
Motion itself, like the embodiment of speed?
Sort of, yeah. If he is motion, then velocity isn't something he has, it's what he is. So the laws governing things that move through space-time might not even apply to him in the same way.
So putting it all together for you listening, the main takeaway here is this incredible paradox. Sonic speed, according to these sources, operates at levels that physics says should cause, disintegration, time warps, black holes.
Right, all that stuff.
But he's totally immune. The material explores why maybe willpower, maybe story needs, maybe he's literally the idea of speed running around. Sonic speed isn't just fast, it's so ridiculously fast, it kind of breaks equations and becomes almost mythical.
Yeah, understanding it really means looking past our physics and more into the logic of his own universe, whatever that logic might be.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you. Based on something else mentioned in the sources, it says that if Sonic runs fast enough in a circle, he could actually reverse time, rewrite history, fix regrets.
That's a pretty heavy power.
It is. But the thing is, he apparently rarely, if ever, does it. The sources suggest he respects time too much to just mess with it unless it's absolutely critical. So he has this reality-bending potential, but mostly uses his speed to stop Dr. Eggman and save little woodland creatures. What do you think that contrast between the power he could wield and how he actually chooses to use it tells us about the nature of this impossible speed he possesses? Something to think about.